You're listening to the Teach Better Talk podcast featuring expert educators eager to share progressive tactics to reach more students. Teach Better Talk is created by teachers and fueled by passion. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to episode 165 of Teach Better Talk. My name is Ray Hewart, and I am with my incredibly unprofessional co-host, Jeff Gargis. Jeff, how are you?
I am feeling incredibly unprofessional.
You look incredibly unprofessional.
My hair could definitely be better, but I have I haven't shaved for a little while, but I got a collared shirt on. That's right, professional, right?
I'm in the Ray Hewart outfit where I just am wearing a black shirt, so I'm good.
Ray Hewart black, yeah. I gotcha, yeah. That's good.
My principal actually is nice enough every so often. I'll walk down the halls of school, and we were actually in our school building, and I'd be wearing all black, and he'll come up and be like, "Wow, Ray, is that a new color?" He's such a jerk.
That's all right. I wear a lot of black too. I've always liked just black shirts and stuff. So anyway, this is actually very colorful for me.
It's true.
Anyway.
You look great, Jeff Gargis. So handsome. Dashing, might I say.
If you're listening to the podcast and you don't know that we put these up on YouTube in video format and you can actually see us on video right now, that's what this is all about. So you can go over to youtube.com/teachbetterteam and see Ray in her gorgeous black outfit and me in my colorful non-professional, apparently.
You look fine.
Those are some beautiful earrings, though.
Yes, these are all colorful. But Jeff Gargis, I want to get to a challenge for our listeners, and then I want to go straight into this episode because I think that when you listen to it, it's just going to bring sunshine into your world. So let's do this challenge for our listeners and then go into our episode with the amazing Amber from Nearpod.
So we're challenging. So if you're listening, we want to challenge you to do something. And this comes from, I think Amber does this so well, but
Wait. Don't spill it. Make them promise they're going to do it before you tell them what it is.
How am I supposed to do that when I can't speak to them right now?
You are speaking to them right now, Jeff. This is a podcast. Talk to our listeners. Make them pinky swear.
Before I say anything, yes, you need to pinky swear, apparently, right now. But really just I need you to commit to this. And they're going to commit because our listeners are awesome. So, of course, they're going to commit. And you're going to tweet out at Ray and myself and the Teach Better team and hashtag Teach Better and hashtag Teach Better Talk and let us know that you are committed to this. And then tell us how you're going to do it and how you accomplish it.
When you say tweet, you could do that on Instagram. You could share it on Facebook. Don't pick a platform. So
I was going to say that, but usually when I do a bunch of stuff on one of these challenges, you're like, why do you give it so hard? So I was trying to be very specific, very simple, and now I'm getting yelled at. I don't know what you want from me anymore, Ray. I just feel like I can never do anything to live up to your standards. I can never do anything to make you happy. It's just always you just pick everything apart, and I'm pretty sure I quit.
Okay, listeners, here we go.
Mute. I'm muting you. I have a mute button. I'm going to mute you for a second. Here's the challenge. You're committing to it. You can do it on whatever social channel you want. I don't care. I don't even care if you tell us. I really just want you to do it. That's the most important part is the fact that you got to do it. I want you to find someone. Actually, I'm going to take it up. Not someone. 3 people that you are connected to that you haven't spoken to super recently. In a few days, maybe even a week, maybe a couple months, who knows? I want you to figure out and identify at least one way that you can bring value and positivity, optimism, and some light to their life, and then go do it. And my caveat is always, and you do that with zero expectation of getting anything in return. The thing you get in return for that is the fact that you know that you did something to brighten someone else's day or 3 people's day. So I want you to identify 3 people and how you can bring value to them, and whether that's value in the sense of advice or a resource or just positivity and awesomeness into their life, and go do that. If you want to share it with us, awesome. I really don't care. I really just want you to do it. I just want it to happen. So do that for us, please. Not even for us. Forget that. Forget us. Do it for yourself because of how you feel, and then for the person that you're going to go impact. I think that's I know I don't, you're laughing at me, whatever, I'm going to make fun of myself, but this really is I love that. like just trying to find something to do something for someone and like really like seriously, truly not caring if you get anything in return. It's like the coolest thing and just one of my favorite things in the world. So go do that. I love it. How's
I
that?
love it too. And I also
Yep.
love this episode with Amber, which is literally going to spread so much positivity and so much happiness into your life. Just wait till you hear her energy.
Yeah. So Amber Calderon is, she referred to herself in there, and I love it because she says this, but she's a former and forever elementary teacher, and she works now with Nearpod. She is sort of one of their big connections and how they stay connected to the voice of educators. She does so many cool things for them. We've been able to do some really awesome work with her, connected to Nearpod. They were out at Teach Better conference. She just radiates excitement and positivity, right? And just a love for what she does, and a love for teaching, and a love for having an impact on kids. And it just oozes out of this. Not to use your words, Ray, but it just oozes out of this episode. It really does. So we're just going to go right into it from there. Episode 165 with Amber Calderon.
Hey everyone, we're going to get right back to the episode, but I wanted to make sure you had the details of what the team is continuously doing to support all of the educators that are striving to reach their students at a distance. Now, while we will continue to push out content like blogs, podcasts, free downloads, and online courses to support you, we wanted to do more. So you can meet our team live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in our private Facebook group at 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern for a daily drop-in. During this time, we'll be providing PD for all educators and answering your questions to make sure you feel supported. We'll meet you over in our private Facebook group. You can request to join at teachbettergroup.com or simply by searching Teach Better Team on Facebook. We'll meet you there. Now, let's get back to the episode.
All right, we are here and we are chatting with Amber Calderon, and I am already laughing because I was joking about I was going to mess up your name. So thanks for that. You psyched me out. You're down like right by the beach, so I don't feel that bad anymore. But we are super excited to have you on the show. You were out at the Teach Better conference in November, so we actually got to meet face to face.
Yeah, for sure.
We've done some work together, and we love everything that you do at Nearpod and just you as a person. So excited to have you on. Excited to kind of dive into your story a little bit and get to know you a little bit better tonight. But before we go too far, how are you feeling right now?
You know, I am feeling thankful, intentional, and just energized. And I think, you know, there's so many things that are going on in the world right now, but I am so thankful to be on this podcast, to be at an amazing company, and to have my family with me that can make us all get through this. So, you know, we got to see the positives.
Absolutely. Amber, I was so over the moon when I saw that you were recording with us, because we have actually recorded a bunch of different episodes today. You are our last one of the evening. And the moment we got on, everyone's smiling. We're making jokes. Just your energy just oozes out of you. And I'm so confident our listeners are going to get that from the instant that we start talking through these questions. So before we get into any of the fun that I know we're going to have, making Jeff feel like the third wheel, because I know you and I are already BFFs. How do you typically describe yourself if a listener isn't connected to you yet?
Yeah, so describing me, I am a big ball of energy, and right now it's kind of hard sometimes to keep myself contained. I don't know what it is, but I just really love connecting with teachers. I love talking to you about what you're passionate about. What are the highs? What are the lows? But also, what's your life like outside of a teacher? Because we need to teach the whole teacher, and get to know the whole teacher, just like the whole student, the whole child, you know? So I am always welcomed. Like, I always welcome DMs or anything like that, because that's just kind of my personality.
Your energy is infectious, and I love that about it. And I loved your initial answer of just how you're feeling. You're feeling thankful and intentional, and I love the positivity spin on it. I think that's so important and so valuable right now. So I really, really appreciate that a lot. I'm excited to hear hear this story from you. So, we talk a lot on this podcast about failure. I always say that I've been fortunate enough to fail a lot because I look back and I learn so much from all the mistakes that I've made. I might not enjoy them when they happen, but I enjoy looking back and learning from them again and again and again. So hoping that you can share a story with us by the time you've had a failure or a challenge in your life. Kind of take us there with you. What happened? How did you overcome it? And what did you take away from that experience?
Yeah, for sure. So, stuff like this, when you ask these types of questions, it takes a little bit of like soul searching and like cringe, like, oh my gosh, how many, like what failing moment. But I feel like it's okay to be vulnerable. And so like I've had a series of fails in my life, and I think it's so good, right? So my thought is like, so first and foremost, I was a former elementary teacher. I taught in Texas, and now I work for Nearpod. And I think as a teacher, you just really like feel and attach strongly to like projects and classrooms, and like really create that ownership in everything you do. And as a result, it can be hard to like let that go, and we can take things too personally. Or maybe I'm just talking about myself and I'm hoping to generalize it to the entire world. But I realized one of my biggest fails was that I needed to learn to like let go and seek other outlets to free my mind from just work, right? Because, I went from teaching, nonstop, and then I sold on Teachers Pay Teachers, and I blogged at like Pepe's SD Teacherista, and I just did this nonstop. And I took that same mentality, but only did it for Nearpod. And so I felt that I wasn't giving enough to my other outlets. And I think we as, teachers, and I'll always consider myself a former and forever teacher, we can sometimes consume ourselves so much that we forget to take care of the other things. And so with that, I've also learned that I need to seek other outlets, and that's a healthy thing. And now I'm like into working out, and I really love it. And one of my other fails is like, I kind of let go of who Pepe's SD Teacherista was, right? I forgot about my teaching store and like blogging and honestly, my personal connection with teachers that I built. I'm connecting with them on Nearpod. I'm connecting with them on Vocabulary, but I kind of lost my identity a little bit because I wasn't taking that time to fill my own personal cup. And I think that's something that, during this whole like distance learning, distance teaching, and us having to like take a step back, I think these are good reflection moments that are like, wait a minute, what also fills my cup? How can I also take care of myself so I can take care of all of my kids and the rest of my team on my like, on my grade band? So those are my two big fails, are consuming myself too much and not seeking other outlets as well, and taking things a little too personally, and knowing that like it's okay.
I love that. I love your focus on finding those other outlets, and that is so important. I think because teachers can get so zoned into what they're doing day to day and what's going on in their classroom or the virtual classroom, and be so consumed with that they so often forget about themselves and these other outlets for themselves. Especially I think now with everything that's going on now, I think so many teachers feel like they have even less time or less opportunity or forgiveness or permission or whatever to even turn off ever, because they just want to be available for their students all the time, and they're forgetting these things that make them, you, like you're talking, this personal connection, this thing of you, right, and your identity. And I think it's really important for teachers to hear what you were saying right there and know that it's okay. It's okay to find those outlets. It's okay to turn it off and find these things that are you and your identity. So I love that story.
For sure.
Let's flip it now. Let's talk about a successful moment you had. And this can be something big or something small, but tell us what happened. Why was it a success for you? And then what did you take away from that?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm so proud, first and foremost, to be connected to this strong teaching community. I shared in my fail that, I kind of felt that I lost my identity, and I stepped away from this teaching community when I left my Pepe's SD Teacherista accounts kind of going like stale. But when I really take a look now that I'm at Nearpod and Vocabulary, I'm like, in whatever capacity I can be involved in, this is such a wonderful community where I've been able to see, this is like a collective success. I've been able to see ed tech companies from all over the world come together and figure out, okay, what can we do to help these teachers during this like wave of distance learning time? And also teachers and y'all, the Teach Better team, what are y'all, like all these things that we're doing to really come together. and making ed tech accessible while also, at Nearpod, we're creating these quality above and beyond trainings, whether they're Facebook Lives or webinars or one-on-one. Give us your cell phone number and let us talk to you. So, you talk about this success, but it would be so foolish of me to miss out on an opportunity to share a collective success from the teacher community at this time. And it's like one of those things where even though I have left the classroom, I am so thankful that I'm able to be close to it in this capacity.
It's so important. I love that you chose to highlight that as a success, because I think in other realms, like in our daily drop-ins and other things we're doing, we are acknowledging how amazing it is that, education companies are coming together and providing as much support as possible. But to claim that as a massive success, I think is so appropriate. So I love that you chose to take that on as the success story, because you're right. I mean, with the work that Nearpod's doing alone, much less everybody else, I think that teachers are finally feeling like, they're getting the support they need. They have access to the tools they need. And we're starting to really figure this all out, which is so important for our students. So when it comes to all the things that you've done, I have to know what's kind of keeping you excited about the work you're doing. I'm sure there's a lot of different things that keep your energy up, because I know that your positivity and energy just like oozes out of you. When you say they used to be an elementary school teacher, in my mind, I was like, duh, have you heard her talk? I love it.
Oh my gosh.
But I have to, what is really keeping you excited about the work going on right now?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I know everyone probably, they say like, oh, I bet you were singing in your classroom. And I'm like, yeah, y'all. And I had hand gestures and everything, and my kids loved it. So yeah, but I want to say it's not all like roses and rainbows, right? Or glitter elbow macaroni, whatever, toots your horn. But I am I try to be positive, but there are times where I lose my cool, right? We are only human. So I do want to preface that. It's moments like this and being able to chat with y'all and know that this is another outlet to connect with teachers that does give me that positivity, but it's totally human to have those negative emotions, and I probably go through them during the day, but it's, it's a seesaw balance. But I digress. Based on your question, I guess I'm personally excited to work at an ed tech company where we truly put teachers first. I like to say, and the company even says, I'm the voice of the empathetic teacher and the voice of Nearpod. And so to really know that also the rest of our employees are also embodying that, whether they're hopping on phone calls with teachers to learn more about what they can do to enhance the product, or our product and engineering team vigorously creating new enhancements to better serve teachers. There are so many different departments where I look back and I think once again, my biggest fear is every year that I'm so far removed from the classroom, I lose my sense of connection. But I work for a company where we're one of the good guys. You know what I mean? We're so banded together and stay so close to that mindset of a teacher that's why I'll work late hours and I don't feel that it's late. You know what I mean? And at the same time, I think my role where I'm able to connect so closely with them, even whether it's as Nearpod or Vocabulary or as Pepe's SD Teacherista, it's again that type of community where you're there to lift each other up, and that's what really keeps me excited to keep on going.
And Amber, I honestly have to tell you, I think that that's really prevalent in the work that you do. I've really seen that modeled and echoed over and over from you, that you really do stay so grounded in what's going on in education, and you're always up to date, and you're always offering solutions and suggestions and brainstorming. I think that that's one of the many positive elements that you continue to bring is, I know you've said a few times so far that you've left the classroom, but gosh, you couldn't tell it at all. Anytime we chat, anytime I see you doing work, you really are so dedicated to making sure you're serving teachers authentically, that it's really a great model that you have going on. So truly, I think that you should give yourself more credit here. It's really, really good.
Thank you. I always, whether I'm talking to our marketing team or whoever of the department, it's I will never forget like my hardest day at Nearpod was never my hardest day teaching. And I'm going to keep the long nights and the vigorous lesson planning tucked in my brain so that when we're responding to teachers on social media or creating content for all types of teachers, not just the techie teachers, right? Because you need to think full scope. There's just like you differentiate for your students to learn, you also have to do this for your teachers. But I'm keeping true to remember where I personally came from. So teachers that we talk to know that I'm truly here for them.
Absolutely. So I have to know, one piece of advice, we always ask in question 5, a piece of advice that you would give a new teacher, a veteran teacher. It can be anyone. But what is a piece of advice that you really want teachers to take away from not only this episode that we're able to feature you on Teach Better Talk podcast, but just an ability for teachers to stay authentic and run the progressive classrooms that are student focused that we want them to be facilitating?
So this piece of advice is also the advice I would give myself as a first year teacher. You don't know everything, but at the same time, you have so much to offer. So you should soak up as much from your peers as possible. Learn from their teaching experiences. Even if they didn't come from the tech world, they have so many years of experience and so many tried and true management. And how do they talk with parents? And why do they have the credibility and the respect that you can totally learn from each other? But also, you can teach them something while also and sharing your ideas, but no, it may not be implemented 100% the way you learned it in school, right? So there's such a balance there. And I think about my first year teaching those teachers. I love them so much and they're like my family and I still connect with them. And it's because you remember that it's a give and take from where you are in your respective careers.
Oh, I love that. You don't know everything, but you have so much to offer. That's such great advice. I love it. I don't know how you did it, Amber, but somehow you became just a little more awesome right there. I thought you were at peak awesomeness, but apparently I was wrong. So good job. Anyway, let's have some fun right now. We're going to do the next 6 questions with your goal being to answer each one in 15 seconds or less. You ready to go?
Got it.
What is one ed tech tool you cannot live without?
You're going to think I'm lying, but Nearpod. And it's so true, y'all. I taught with this in my classroom, even from a rural farm school with an iPad cart to one-to-one iPad. I use Nearpod.
I believe you. I totally
I
believe
really
you.
did. I'll send you pictures.
Give us a book that you're reading right now.
I am reading The Originals by Adam Grant. Such a great book from different perspectives of entrepreneurs. And also, there's a podcast. I know it's not a book, but it's called Business Wars. You'll thank me later. It's basically like Snapchat, Facebook, Dunkin' Donuts, and like what? Like it's so good. Y'all just need to check it out.
Love it. Who do you need to follow on Twitter or Instagram today?
Follow me at Pepe's SC Teacherista. There's my shameless plug.
I like it. I'll allow it. It's good. What's a good YouTube channel or website, educators?
Oh, you should definitely follow Too Cool for Middle School. She has such a great YouTube channel. She is so honest, like culturally responsive teaching, stays true to her roots, and she is just so like she puts out great content. And she's a California educator, and I've gotten to know her on a personal level. She's amazing.
All right, give us a daily, weekly, or monthly routine every teacher should get into.
This saved my life. Before you leave your classroom, grab a sticky note. Write 1 to 3 things you want to accomplish the second you walk in the door that morning. And here's why. Because then you don't feel guilty leaving your classroom because you know you're going to get it done tomorrow. And then when you walk in your classroom, you know exactly what you need to get done. So the second you put up your lunch and you put your bag down, you know what to work on.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Right?
That was a good one, right?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I lived by that.
I love that. That's awesome. To wrap up, give us the best piece of advice you've ever received.
Oh, I love this. My current boss told me this, and it's changed my life. The only thing I can control is the way I react to a situation. And this kind of goes with like that positivity thing, right? I have my negative moments. I have my moments where I feel like, ugh. But you know what? I can only control the way I react to it. So that's what I'm going to do.
So powerful, so important. And I think that every educator needs to have this somewhere they can look at it, because whether it be a frustrating parent phone call or an initiative that's coming from the top down that you're, hearing for the first time. Or a student's reaction to something not acting the way that you want. I think that piece of advice is so important. You can only control the way you react to a situation. It's so, so important. So that's a great one to share as the best piece of advice. I do want to make sure, Amber, that all of our listeners can stay connected with you, not only by following you on Instagram, but also by connecting with you in every other place humanly possible and making sure that they take advantage of all the things that Nearpod is continuing to allow teachers to use right now to enhance their classroom. So would you mind telling us how our listeners can stay connected?
For sure. So you can follow me on Twitter. It's at PeppyZestyTeach because they didn't give me enough characters. I also blog at peppyzestyteacherista.com. Same with my Facebook page. It's the same name. And then for Nearpod and Vocabulary, we've definitely made so many enhancements to our free version that you'll be able to use this for distance learning. So I encourage you to create a free account. Also, if your school is interested in a school trial, we are actually giving due to school closures, we've opened the doors to allow school access to clusters of schools that are really looking for that enhanced collaboration. So you can go to nearpod.com/coronavirus, and then you'll also see the link on that page to click for vocabulary as well. And that's how you can request school access, because we really want to be your partner and help you during this distance learning wave, because we truly are better together.
I love it. And you can find all the links and resources and everything we mentioned in this episode over at teachbetter.com, as well as those important links for connecting with Amber, checking out Nearpod, taking advantage of the awesome things that they're doing there for you right now and all the time. So that'll all be over in the show notes over at teachbetter.com. So head there for all of that. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming episodes. And if you can give us a rating and review, I'd really, really appreciate that as well. And let's keep taking this one step further. Think of just 3 of your colleagues who need to hear these amazing stories and share this podcast with them. Amber, this was awesome. You did not disappoint. And I'm telling you what, we had a high bar for you, and you hit it and went beyond it. We're pumped to have you on there. Just so happy to be connected to you and really appreciate coming on and just sharing your awesomeness with us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate the Teach Better team and y'all's mission. So thank you for letting me be a part of this.
Awesome. And until next time, let's get out there. Let's teach better.